Some people here know that I was taking time off last week, and I figure rather than have 20 different conversations about what I did over my vacation, just do it all at once right now. The first day of my vacation was a funeral. I have 3 really good friends from college. They're a big part of the reason I'm standing in front of you today as a priest. They're just the most wonderful people. We call each other multiple times a year, do FaceTime, check in, get updates. And usually at least once a year, we get together with all the families. Many of them have kids now themselves. We get together and we hang out, and it's very edifying. It's a good group to be with. Well, one of those friends and her husband, they, after about 12 hours, lost a baby. And so, we knew ahead of time, we knew the diagnosis. We had been praying for months for a miracle, that things would work out just right. But the day came, and we're lucky. Even the couple themselves were super grateful just to have that 12 hours with their child. And we're able to bring over friends and family, and even to have the child baptized because they knew so many priests. Well, we all together as a little friend group went down to support them, so that was the first day. What was amazing, though, was the funeral. Being down there for that funeral was incredible. It was possibly the most beautiful funeral I've seen, because it revealed something good. You see, the funeral wasn't for the baby. Baby's perfect, right? Got baptized, so that's necessary for salvation. Good there. Can't sin. It's a little baby, right? 12 hours old. Right up to heaven. So the funeral wasn't for him. The funeral was for everybody else there. And what you could tell was that this couple, my friends, are so wrapped in their faith that they made every little detail of that funeral mass for others. The husband himself knew that many of his co-workers would be there, and he knew that many of them weren't practicing a faith, whether ever or anymore. And he had even had a conversation with a coworker who was confused, perplexed. Why would you even bring a child to term if you knew that things weren't going to turn out so well, or you were pretty sure? And in his conversation with this man, he was able to watch as the man kind of was confused but intrigued, and his heart was changing in that conversation. Something good was going on within him. Well, the most incredible part of the funeral, I'd say, was the homily, which was amazing. There was 8 priests there, so luckily they got someone holier than me to give the homily. And he did an amazing job. There was a bishop there too, and the bishop was in choir. This family is very much involved in their diocese and have the respect of their diocese. But the priest who got up there gave this tremendous homily on hope. He walked through how this family had had great hope all along. And I could tell this is probably working with them a little bit on the homily itself. But he said, from the beginning, right, they had great hope they would meet this child when they discovered they were pregnant. And when they got that diagnosis weeks later that things weren't all right, they had great hope still. They had prayed, asking for the help, actually, of a few blesseds, people who still need some miracles to become saints. They had asked for the help of those blesseds, hoping for a miracle, hoping for that healing for their child, or even just for the opportunity to get to meet him and to hold him and to be with him. And when the day came, right, they were filled with hope in just getting to have that 12 hours, a hope for others as well to get to meet this child. And most powerfully, the priest said, but in particular, this couple, my friends, had great hope that they will meet their child again, because he's baptized. He's good. He's there in heaven. He's just waiting. And so this couple has great hope that they will see him again. Beautifully said, masterfully said, because that's the reality, and you could see it in my friends' faces. They wanted other people to hear that guarantee, to hear about that hope. These friends of mine are real disciples, because everything they say and do comes from the source of faith, from their relationship to God, who they believe in 100%. How is your family externally revealing to others God? How are the relationships that your family has? How is that helping others meet God? Today in our scriptures, we hear salt and light. And a very smart priest told me that salt helps food taste more like itself. Light helps something look more like itself. When it's lit up perfectly, you can see the thing in its entirety. A good family, a good Catholic, is a salt and light for others. They reveal God to others. Each and every one of us has that same task. And you are up to that task because you can reveal God to others even in your joys and especially in sorrows.